Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today we're checking out KC Knives Fast. I'm going to link his channel down in the description so you guys can subscribe to his channel. He has a knife company, Tempest Knives, and this is the prototype, the Pinion. So Tempest Knives Pinion. Now this is a prototype, so the final production versions will have a little bit of differences, and we'll go over that. But his pre-order drops July 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's this Saturday, July 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything will be linked down in the description. So my first impressions of this knife. First off, I just want to say 14C28N blade steel is what the blade will be. We will have G10 or micarta handles, and that'll range between a $10 difference between $75 and $85. Great price. And then the hardware is going to be changed to T8s, titanium T8s all the way around, which is very cool. And the clip will be changed to a silver clip instead of the black clip. And the blade to handle ratio will be fixed because the blade is going to be 3.4 inches. This one's a little bit smaller, and you can see it when it's in the handle a little bit, but that'll be changed with the final production. So anyways, my first impressions getting this in hand. This thing is a fidget beast. I love fidgeting with this knife. It has some of the best qualities in a fidget knife that I like, especially for a reverse flicker, because one, the hole is very, very easy to get to. It's not sharp, but it's also not slippery. The detent, oh yeah, Kubi's the OEM, by the way, so it makes sense. Kubi's really good with their action. And this one's no exception. Very, very smooth on the drop. Complete fall shut action. And another thing, the lock bar access. Really good lock bar access. Very easy to disengage. Easy to get past the detent ball, which is nice and early. And it just makes it so fun to fidget. Now, even the thumb flick, very easy to do. The reverse flick, you can go down, you can use the bottom of the hole or the top of the hole. Either way, it works great. Now, the Ergos, very comfortable in the hand, except for I do feel the wire clip back here. We'll get more into that later, but it's fine. And you have this choke up spot right here, which I always appreciate when you don't have a flipper, having that area where you can get up nice and tight to the edge for push cuts. This is going to be very comfortable and useful for utility cuts, especially with this modified sheep's foot style blade. Great for just about everything EDC. The blade is a flat ground blade with a stone washed finish. And the liners are milled out a little bit, so it's nice and lightweight, no problem with the weight at all. Now, wire clip, we already know the wire clips work really good in and out of the pocket. Now, the screw you see, that's going to be changed. It will be flatter or more flush, so you're not going to have to worry about that at all. And wire clips, they work really good. Now, let's go over some nitpicks really quick, right? I like the knife a lot, first of all. I think the knife's great. I love that he still added his, and this might be just me saying this, but when I think of Knives Fast designs, I think kind of like a race car, you know, and I like that he still has that design influence here. I like that he didn't do away with that. I appreciate that. It's something that I think is, you know, it speaks to him, and I know he likes that type of stuff. And so whether you're thinking of like a jet or a race car, whatever, I think this thing looks very, very aerodynamic, and I appreciate that. I like that has that kind of design influence incorporated into the, you know, even with this pivot, you can see it kind of looks like the rim of a car, you know, and that little bit of a design influence always, you know, it looks cool to me. I like it. Now, some nitpicks. One, the blade feels short in my hand. It feels like the blade should be broader when I'm like this. Now, that just is me probably just needing to get used to it, but it does feel short in my hand. It feels not as broad as it should be. It feels like, you know, maybe it should be out to here. Next thing, the sharpening, choil, and plunge grind. Ah, man, the plunge grind hits the edge. I don't like that. When you go to sharpen it, it's going to sharpen into the plunge grind, creating a smile. You guys know I don't like that, you know, especially as a sharpener. I like seeing a separation between the plunge grind. It doesn't even need a sharpening choil here. It just needs the end of the plunge grind to end way before the edge. In this case, it goes all the way to the edge. So, not that big of a deal, but it's a thing that I appreciate on knife designs. Now, the blade geometry, it is thick. It is robust. Now, the behind the edge thickness isn't too thick. It does get down relatively thin right behind the edge, but it does it rapidly. Getting down from this blade stock thickness to this thinness of the edge, it has to do it fast, as you can see. So, the geometry is a little bit thicker than I would prefer on something like this. A hollow grind would have fixed that, but regardless, this one's a flat grind. Will it still cut just fine? Absolutely. Especially if you put a low angle edge on here, forget about it. It'll be just fine. And 14C28N takes an amazing low angle edge. Now, next thing is, now this isn't about the knife. This is me right now, right? I can't help but wish it had a front flipper right there, you know, because it looks like it was begging for one. It has internal stop pins, which I love, by the way. Great that it has internal stop pins. That helps with side-to-side play. And this thing is rock solid lockup, by the way. Rock solid lockup. And it stops it from having a stop pin back here, meaning he has the ability to raise this up just a little bit, put a little jimping there, and then you'd have a perfectly functioning front flipper, even with the detent for the reverse flick. You wouldn't even have to change anything on the detent. It would work just fine. But doesn't have it. Not that big of a deal. But I can't help sometimes grabbing it and almost trying to use a front flipper. Now, the next thing, yes, I feel this wire clip back here. I already kind of spoke on it. It does kind of hang over the edge a little bit right there. So in the palm, when I'm back here and I'm not choked up, yes, I feel it quite a bit. Is it a big deal? No. Can I get by with it? Yeah, it's not going to affect me. None. It's fine. But I do feel it. Now, I can get away from it just by choking up a little bit. And then, you know, I don't feel it at all. Next thing is, I don't think there is anything else, actually. I think that's really it. You know, everything else is already going to be changed and upgraded and fixed. So, very cool. I do like the design. I like the knife. I think it's very fun to fidget with. This is a knife I can easily grab out of the pocket and, I mean, deploy super fast just because that whole deployment works so good. And I can do it with every single finger I have, including my pinky. Well, normally, it's just so easy to deploy. So that there's something cool about that. Something, you know, just naturally, it just falls right in the right place and you can just easily, just rapidly deploy it. I love it. And I think it's going to work out great for a lot of people. I love that he chose to use 14C28N. Great steel choice, especially for this price range. Great price range, great steel choice, great, you know. And Kubi does a really good job. So I have no doubt that the final productions aren't going to be great. So everything will be linked down in the description, like I said. So if you guys don't want to miss the pre-order on this, you guys are always complaining about things being sold out and all that stuff. And this is a pre-order thing, so it's something you're going to be able to get ahead of the curve on, and you can pre-order yours ahead of time. So that will be Saturday, July 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything will be linked down in the description. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.